Man United 2, Granada nil. We are through to, 3-0 on aggregate. No,
4
what was
nil.
it? 4-0. 4-0
4
now. I
nil.
lost count. 4-0 on aggregate. 2-2-nils. Through to another
Wish
it
it
was a
was.
Champions
Wish
League.
it was.
Getting ahead of myself here. Through to another Europa League semi-final. And I make that 6 semi-finals now under Ollie.
Yeah.
Good. One of them games where we just managed it today, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I said to you the other day that I expected it to be 0-0, so at least we scored a couple of goals.
Yeah.
What surprised me one little bit, if we just sat back and let them have the ball, we just needed to get through. The Sociedad game, we were 4-0 up from the first leg and we just drew 0-0, didn't we? So
Yeah.
at least it was a little bit better than that.
Split it halfway this time. Split it halfway.
Yeah, 4-0 over two legs. Well, still over two legs, but 2 goals in each leg, yeah.
Yeah, there were some good performances today, especially in the first half. I mean, we got a goal really early on after about 6 or 7 minutes, but what a goal it was. Great header back from Paul Pogba, and Cavani again showing just why he could be so important for us in this running.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's a top striker, and he just finds space in the box, don't he? He's great at finding space.
What a goal! Yeah,
took it well. They said on the TV it came off his shin, but at least you could see he was trying to aim it across to that corner, so it doesn't matter too much that it went in off his shin. It's still a great good movement and a good finish.
How important is he though? No, just on him, because I know that the game was quite boring, so we've got to kind of talk a bit outside the game. Or the game was quite routine. How important is he, Rick, for this running? Taken off early again today. We need him against Burnley, but in general, in the running or in the Europa League as well, how important is he?
While Anthony Martial's not fit, he's absolutely unbelievably important. For me, I don't think. To me, Mason still doesn't quite do it for me as a number 9. Still doesn't quite do it for me. I think without him, if we didn't have him and Martial, I think we'd be struggling. I really do. So he's really important, and his work rate's good. They all work hard, I suppose. His work rate's good. His controls well, passes well. He plays well with his back to goal. Not as good as Martial with his back to goal, but then again, he's a bit sharper in the box than Martial.
He is
slightly different.
A lot sharper. Yeah.
But, like I say, especially while Martial's injured, he's massively important.
And Pogba again from the left-hand side.
Yeah.
When he's played again with Cavani, provided for Cavani again, and I know he was, I don't want to say close to getting sent off, but it was a bit touch and go with how the referee is, and it was a bit weird. You're thinking, we might have to hook him off here, but we did the right thing, kind of getting to half time and taking him off. But he's having a say on that left-hand side, isn't he?
Yeah, I said that to you at weekend, didn't I? I think he might be nailing that position down for the certainly any big games that are coming up. It's going to be very interesting because it's always going to be McTominay and Fred in the big games.
Yeah.
So, if he's got to fit him in somewhere, that's exactly where he's going to put him.
So is it Rashford is going to be the casualty, but he'll just get pushed out to the right because Ollie will always play Rashford.
Well, you sort of saying he will always play, and Greenwood plays a lot on that. I don't. But let me put it this way to you: he will chop and change the team around. Yeah. We've still got to play Liverpool. Like you said, we'll speak about other things again. We've got a whole lot to talk about. He chops and changes the team anyway. So I think in some of the smaller games, you might see Greenwood play on the right. But then again, in some of the smaller games, he might not play Pogba on the left. He might. He does occasionally put him on the bench, don't he? So
he does, yeah.
You could expect anything. But when you look at the big games, that's where you need to look at it and sort of say, well, this is where he thinks he's stronger, and this might be his strongest team. When we played Liverpool away, because we've still got to play Liverpool at home, don't forget. Pogba played on the right, and he was tracking Robertson all day. And we went there to get obviously, you're going to try and nick it. The manager's always going to say we went. And a lot of fans don't understand that. They don't. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound condescending. A lot of fans don't understand that even when you go defensively to stop the opposition from scoring, it's still your best chance to try and win the game. Because if you stop them from scoring, you've only got to nick one. All right, we didn't nick one. So they are trying to win the game, even though they're parking the bus.
I see what you mean, but then on the other side of that coin,
because they believe, the coaching staff believe that these will take us apart if we get caught out of position and we're attacking too much. So if they score, we've got to score too. So they believe their best chance of winning it is to stop them from scoring.
You're exactly right with that way of thinking, because that is that is it is actually a way of thinking. But then the people who get annoyed with that, even some ex-pros, I did an interview with Andy Cole, and he's saying, "Flex, we're Man United. We should be going and saying we're gonna score goals. Obviously he's from that crop. You know all about that, and I think that's what annoys people, because you're right. That actually is us being on the front foot. Us being on the front foot is saying we'll be on the back foot and try and nick it in those types of games and just not get beat.
Since we played Liverpool, when we played Liverpool away, I'm going to come to my point in a minute. When we played Liverpool away, they were still in the title race. They weren't.
Yeah, it was to keep it 6 points, I think it was, wasn't it, or something, or
they
4?
Nothing like as gone as they are now. They're not the team now as they were then, and even then they weren't, because obviously since they've had Van Dijk missing, they've not been quite the team they were. But when we went to, I think they've lost 6 games in a row since we played there. But when we went there, it was regarded as a decent result on it, a 0-0 draw. And like I just said, they were probably trying to win it in their own.
And we had the chances to win that game as well.
Yeah, we did have chances to win it, and that's how it works.
Yeah,
you go for your 0-0 draw, and you wait for that one chance. And I think it was Pogba got a great chance from
Pogba and Bruno, both of them.
Straight at the keeper, so we could easily have won it. So here's my point: when we've still got to play Liverpool again, and they are getting a bit stronger, aren't they? They are. Out of the Champions League, but they're really pushing for the top. I know it sounds mad, but it were looking like they weren't going to get top 4 at one point. Now it's looking like they might get it again. So when we play Liverpool at Old Trafford, it wouldn't surprise me to see him set up in the same manner or a similar manner. So he's going to have Matt Tomini and Fred for sure. He's going to have Bruno. As long as Cavani's still fit, Martial won't be fit. It'll be Cavani at 9. Then it's the 2 wide places that are up for grabs. I'll put money on it that it's Pogba on the left.
Yeah.
So what will he do on the right in that
He'll
game?
put Marcus, if it comes down to playing Mason Greenwood, Daniel James, or Marcus Rashford.
It won't surprise me one little bit to think like they thought against Liverpool, and Dan James might well be put up against Robertson to stop Robertson.
Did Rashford start on the bench in that game, or was he just injured? Did Rashford start on the bench in that game? Or was
he started at number 9,
yeah.
That also, how can I put this? I don't want to say backs up my point.
No, it didn't work though.
Yeah. My idea of the 2 wide players being defensive. Let's go back to that game. Pogba's job was to stop Robertson. He played on the right, which is rare. Pogba's job was to stop Robertson. Martial's job was to stop Trent. Right now, Rashford played at 9. A lot of people thought the idea of that was Rashford's pace to try and, when we do break,
getting behind.
Not a bit of it. The idea was Martial's better defensively and better disciplined than Rashford. The idea was, make no mistake, Martial will be better against Trent than Rashford will. That's why Martial played on the left. So it wasn't a credit to Marcus that he played at 9. It was a credit to Martial that he was playing on the left. Normally,
I hear what you're saying, but he will still give you. Whereas Martial will come short, he's better with his back to goal. You can't take away that Marcus will run the other way, though. He would do that
without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
The main reason for it, though, was to stop Trent Alexander. That's why Martial was playing on the left in that game.
So back to Paul Pogba.
When we play Liverpool again, that's when you'll see what the manager's really thinking.
I bet you now. I'll bet you £10.
Yeah,
I bet you a tenner, or we'll give it to charity, that Marcus Rashford starts in that game somewhere on the right.
I'll take the bet on, but I think people will be misreading me or misunderstanding me, and I think you might be slightly. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me if it happened.
Yeah.
What I think will happen.
I do think he won't play on the left. I agree.
Will play. I do. All the rest of that team, Mac Fred and blah blah.
It'll be McFred and Bruno and Pogba.
Spot that's open.
100%. And I'm saying if it's open, there's no way Ollie picks Dan James or even maybe Greenwood, depending on how sore Rashford is in that game. He will play him, even if it means shoehorning Rashford onto the right where he is less comfortable. If it is a choice of that and you're going to go for it, I would probably rather play Mason there. But I just think Ollie look at Rashford. Come on, he always plays him. Sore foot. Do you know what I mean? So, but I do agree with what you say about the Pogba situation. It looks like he probably won't play too many more games for the rest of this season in that central midfield position, unless it's against Maybe against Burnley, he could, put Pogba and Fred in there, or Pogba and McTominay, maybe mix it up. Rashford's back. He might do it for games like that. But like you said, when it gets to the critical game, then we'll see that. Back to today's game. We spoke about Pogba and Cavani. Axel Tuanzebe got a start today. How did you see his game?
Just decent.
Decent, yeah.
Solid enough. A little bit rash. A couple of tackles from behind that he gave fouls away that he didn't need to do. But it's just a decent game, as what I expected from him, really.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Thought about him. He had a brilliant game in PSG, but it wasn't going to be a game where you've got all that type of defending to do. You're not up against the same caliber of player. As sort of strange as it sounds, it was better for him to play like that in a tough game. You know what I mean? In that game, it's difficult. That game's difficult for the defender to show what he can do, really.
Well, just generic for his future as well. He's just never going to get in, is he? He's never going to get in.
No.
And it's sad because Ollie decided to keep him back from going to Aston Villa to stay a further year, and he got rid of Smalling at the time. That's a big statement to keep Tuanzebe and say, "I'll let Smalling go," and he just hasn't really given him any opportunity, really.
No, he hardly gets a chance, does he? And if Bailey was there, he wouldn't have played tonight, even, I don't think, would he?
Yeah, I have to say this. I did tweet you. I don't know if you responded or you've seen it yet. I said, Mata, Dan James, Donny, and there was someone else all on the pitch at the same time.
Do you know what I can't
Matic.
Yeah, Matic. Do you know what I can't?
It was good tonight.
It was great, by the way, when they were all on. We played really well. But Juan Mata, what I can't grasp about a lot of people who sort of criticise Juan Mata and criticise me for liking Juan Mata. Generally, they're the sort of people who talk about the fancy flicks and the long balls and all this. But I've seen Mata play 2 passes with the back of his heel today. I've seen him step over the ball and let it run through. He's actually doing Bruno-like things better than Bruno. Do you know what I mean? But,
you heard it here. The comeback for Mata is on.
They probably still don't like it. You know what I mean? If we were giving a man of the match for, I think he got 13 minutes. If we were giving a man of the match for the last 13 minutes, it would definitely Juan Mata. But
yeah, exactly. But it's got to go on the whole game. I think a bit difficult. Who was your man of the match actually today, Rick? To finish
I think it can only be Matic, to be honest. I think it can only be Matic.
He was good, isn't it? Well, actually, with him, on Matic, he's one of your favourites as well, and not without good reason. You always back. You don't just say he's your favourite for no reason. You come with a reason why. Should he be used more in this run-in as well?
I think he should be used more, but it's not going to happen. He sees the Fred's energy, doesn't he, as being too important. I prefer the calmness and the coolness of the passing. I heard Robbie Savage in commentary tonight saying Fred and Matic have got to get a grip. They put him in the same bracket. I saw Matic give 2 great balls to Fred, and he ran into trouble on both occasions and lost it. And he's got driven it right into his feet, and his touch goes away from him. And Robbie Savage is putting it over as if, it's like they put people in the same bracket for no given reason. We get it with centre backs, don't we? Sometimes, and it's just.
It is the commentators do say some crazy stuff. That pass that Matic dropped to Bruno for that volley was a good pass as well. And Matic did have a steady game today. So in the final. Yep, in the final. In the semi-final, Roma. It can be a tough game, but you're expecting us to, get past that and break this semi-final hoodoo.
I do think we'll have enough. I think we're a little bit better than we were this time last year. And like you said, it's a 2-legged game, a 1-legged game last season. I'll stick my neck out. I don't like making predictions.
No, you don't. No.
I'll stick my neck out and say I do fancy us. Yeah. I'll tell you what's interesting. And I put a tweet out about it. They've not said on the TV that Pogba's suspended for the first leg, have they? And yet,
everyone's saying he's not. I don't know what's happened. I was under the impression that if he got booked today, he would be done. But they don't normally get things like that wrong.
They don't normally get it wrong on the telly. Did you see the press conference?
Yeah, but I didn't see the bit where he said that if he gets a yellow, he's done.
In the press conference, one of the journalists, you'd expect a journalist to do his own work, but you also won't suppose if he got it wrong. But one of the journalists asked Ollie, will you be thinking about leaving Pogba out so that he doesn't get a card and then he's suspended for the first leg? Now, it's okay the journalist getting wrong. getting it wrong if he is wrong.
Yeah.
But you expect Ollie to know. But Ollie didn't just say to him, no, it's okay. Ollie answered it as if he was right. Ollie said, oh, no, we can't think like that. We've got to win the game. And if he's got to go in for a challenge, he's got to go
Maybe they just don't know. No one knows.
Nobody knows.
No one knows. I don't know.
I found an article in the Manchester Evening News that actually says going into this game tonight, he's on a booking and he's missing from the next game.
I mean, I find it really hard to think big mainstream broadcast. Well, funny things that happen, but they never. They
normally on it, aren't they? Yeah.
Straight away misses next match.
They normally have it on the screen, don't they? Misses next match.
That's what I'm saying. Misses next match. So I'm not convinced. I think he might be all right. Which is, and again, Ollie, because otherwise, if that was the case, Ollie would have just left him on.
I don't know about that because I don't think he wanted him to get sent off. And
actually, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Actually, that's true. Actually, that's very true. Well, we'll have to wait for some of Ollie's comments afterwards. See if the media bring it up. All right, Rick, we'll go again. Sunday, Burnley, big tough, big brutes coming up to Old Trafford. Got to be on it.
We've not beaten them there for about the last 3 seasons.
No.
I think 1 defeat and 2 draws in the last 3 seasons.
It's not been good, has it? And then away from home, we always beat them. So yeah,
got to be our turn. Got to be our turn.
Yeah, exactly. Nice one, Rick. I'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.